Welcome back to the show, everybody. How about this for breaking news? Digital dollar project in Ripple. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for all the latest. And I tell you right now, it is a $1,021 billion market cap for crypto, missing that $3 trillion plus all-time high. Coin Paprika, ladies and gentlemen, download that app and give them a try. Bitcoin, 20,100 plus. Ethereum, $1,500 plus. XRP number 7 spot is 32 cents. If you have not seen the Gary Gensler resign article that was put out by Rosalind Layton through Forbes, which was retracted by her, but she said it wasn't the editors or whatever. Rosalind, we appreciate you, but we appreciate ProCoin News as well. And he says, you know what? Here's the beautiful thing about being at ProCoin News. You don't have to answer to anyone else. You can publish whatever you want, limited only by the truth. There you have it. The article is right here for you to see on ProCoin News. Make sure you check them out. Link underneath the video. Right here, we're going to start today. There's a lot to go through, but I'm going to try to get through it very quickly. We do have breaking news from the Digital Dollar Project, and it's big. Shout out to Chris Giancarlo. I'm going to set the tone right here from this Blockworks channel, Capital Wars, Liquidity, and the Rise of China with Michael Howe. Listen to this very quick clip I have for you.
And the problem that we identify is that the US, which is in many ways has been the leader in digital technology, digital currencies, and international transfer, is being sort of hampered paradoxically by the SEC in the US in terms of rolling out some of these models in the international arena. And the US needs to, US Congress needs to think about this. And this is a capital war. Okay, it's you versus China. You've got to get out there and get your currency and your your crypto or whatever digital currencies moving in the world economy. That's
the truth right there. And Michael Howe just laid it down. And that's exactly what we're talking about. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we get news today coming to you in just a moment. That's exactly what's happening with the U.S. moving forward. Jenkins Paradox. We're talking about William Stanley Jevons, right here. Jevons with an S, excuse me. And it's William Stanley Jevons who really came up with the Jenkins Paradox. And we're going to talk about this because I think what I have been describing here with the idea of FedNow providing this new payment system, which can really bring things to a 24/7, 365, can organize the liquidity from all the banking system and all the FIs using that payment system, and organizing that liquidity domestically to be able to serve for larger issuance of cross-border, possibly through the bridge of XRP. Now, looking at right this, Jenkins Paradox occurs when technological progress or, listen to this, government policy increases the efficiency with which a resource is used. Let's, in place of that technological progress, let's call that FedNow. Or government policy, which is the adoption of a FedNow and or, let's say, an XRP ledger, private ledger, so forth, what have you. Government policy increases the efficiency which a resource is used, like the FedNow, or even further to consider something like the ledger, right? Reducing the amount necessary for any one use, but falling cost of use increase its demand, negating reductions in resource use. What this means, and there are two examples I've talked about in years past. Really quickly, the shipping container industry. changing the shipping industry to a shipping container so it fit all the ships, so it fit all the cranes, so it fit all the trucks, so it fit all the docks. This uniformity, this interoperability that was gained from that, this organization that was gained from that efficiency to save money and waste and error of loading the ships and things breaking and being lost, actually increased the shipping trade. So what started off as they were trying to trim cost and errors and losses and things of that nature, damages, ended up increasing the overall impact because of that adoption of that standard, right, and practice. Now, the same thing happened in the Industrial Revolution with the coal furnace. They set out, because it was so expensive to use, to make it more efficient. What happened is they did make it more efficient. And when they did, they realized they would end up burning more coal because it was so useful now as a tool for the Industrial Revolution. And that's how we got that. So, it says right here, coal burning factories in 19th century Manchester, England, improved technology, allowed coal to fuel the Industrial Revolution, greatly increasing consumption of coal when the original goal was to make it burn less coal. And they did. And by in turn, just like if a car had 80 miles to the gallon, you'd see the highways just covered with cars, because now that it's so, cheap to use your car and so cost effective, everybody will do it. Just like the internet, right? The internet, to send emails free, and everyone's doing it. Jevons Paradox. I believe we are witnessing FedNow serve as an example in this regard when we're talking about FedNow and ISO 20022. These standard adoptions and principal practices brought into the payment system of FedNow and ISO 20022 really showed me the opportunity to create a more efficient payment system, which in turn increases that resources consumption, how much it's used. This can serve, I believe, as a great liquidity gatherer to serve cross-border payments moving forward. Everything happens in phases. That's the way this has always been, and I believe that's the way it will continue to be. And to remind people, Volante Tech responded a couple years ago to Matthew Linai, shout out to him. He asked, hello, Volante, will XRP be possible settlement mechanism for the platform for Volante Technologies? Volante's platform can be used to settle through XRP via our Ripple connection. But they have other connections, but through that, the answer is yes. And that was as of 2020. Then there is this right here, which is a reminder from Michael Branch, who asked, hey, Twitterverse, does anyone have the screenshot of David Schwartz talking about how XRP could be used domestically on the last hop of its journey? I saw it the other day, but can't find it. Well, Anders L said, I think you mean this one, how XRP could bridge the domestic instant payment system. Oh, boy, the cancel culture is going to lose their mind on this one. And they better tag David Schwartz and start telling David what he's allowed to talk about too. The biggest obstacle is often the very last hop, getting funds to the payment recipient through the domestic payment system. He goes on here to say, FedNow. So there is definitely an opportunity here to bridge domestic real payment systems such as FedNow, the clearinghouse for USD, with powerful benefits for SMEs and ultimately consumers around the world. So the door is open in some regards to the use of XRP for settlement, and it may be to tie in these fractionalized payment platforms and domestic payment systems, right? We will see what happens. Maybe it's a stable coin that's used instead. I still believe what we're really seeing is the organization of these payments and liquidities all being brought to a standards and practice. And as they bring that to a government chosen, regulated, instituted, certainly through this system, and then obviously because it works better, there will be more consumption of the platform. This will create the Jevons Paradox, right? And I believe it all goes to serve massive cross-border payments for which XRP can be a part of. I'm sharing this right here because announcing the launch of our technical sandbox from the Digital Dollar Project, an important step to jumpstart exploration of CBDCs by testing a wide range of design choices and helping answer critical questions about the impacts of a potential U.S. central bank digital currency with real-world data. This is remarkable. MTech, EMTech, digital assets, Knox, and Ripple, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I put this diagram together back in February of 2022. When will Ripple join the Digital Dollar Project? Because they already announced the Central Bank of Bhutan, the Republic of Palau, the Digital Pound Foundation, the Digital Euro Association, and now we can put that check right next to the Digital Dollar Project, baby. Look at it. There it is right there. That is remarkable to me, ladies and gentlemen. There's no question about it. And let us not forget this. David Morgan, just back in April of this year, talking with Daniela Cambone on Stansberry Research.
Okay, so the paths are leading to some form of a digital currency. So do you think it's coincidence that we're now at the exact same moment seeing executive orders and mandates come out, and in it there is talk of a coming Federal Reserve digital dollar?
No, it's par for the course as far as I am concerned. I mean, how far along they are, I'm not certain. I have looked into this fairly deeply. There is some talk of going on the back of, let's say, an XRP or some other currency that's out there now that's functioning well and has been basically tested, and then putting a CBDC on top of that. That certainly could be achieved. And if it were, it could expedite how quickly this comes to the fore. I think before we get to...
And there we have it. Now, who's David Morgan been talking to? Shout out to you, David. Now let's take a listen to this because we're not done yet. And Chris Giancarlo himself, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a listen to this clip where he talks about the possibility of adopting a value protocol.
One more comment. But the problem with not having an entity that's governed by a constitutional right to privacy prevailing money means that unless there's statutory protection, you could have the governments doing the same thing to big tech stablecoin operators that they do to big tech social media platforms and basically impose upon them the things the government couldn't do itself by censoring speech, which is what happens today. So you could envision a world, in fact, where the safest place in terms of privacy may be a government subject to the Fourth Amendment, as opposed to a big tech company that will do things government tells it to do, as it does today with censoring speech online.
So after thinking about what Chris had just said about the implications of social media being manipulated and censorship being in place, outsourcing censorship from the government to the private sector in social media, what an excellent point. It prompted me to ask Chris Giancarlo, are you suggesting the government should consider adopting a protocol of value for the internet to ensure that the Fourth Amendment and other freedoms and privacies are respected for the new financial system / the digital dollar? Chris Giancarlo says it's worth considering. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, that's not all. I mean, that's Chris Giancarlo from the Digital Dollar Project just a month or two ago, a couple months ago at most. Now let's listen to this. Remember this?
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system. As our white paper on this topic notes, a U.S. CBDC could also potentially help maintain the dollar's international standing.
Now, I'm not suggesting this is going to be done Tuesday. This is a process. And what I've been witnessing since I've been in this space, before I was even a YouTuber in 2017, is that this is in fact a process. And we've been watching things phase in, from Ripple doing testing on different ideas and having things broke up from XRapid to XVIA to this, that, and the other, now combined as on-demand liquidity, then creating RippleNet around ODL, for ODL, and now the Ripple Liquidity Hub. The growth in phasing in of these things, working with, remittance providers, improving itself as a payment token level, and working its way to prove to the world, I believe, to serve as more a bridge currency for all the money and value as things continually become tokenized and digitized for this new world and economy we're moving into, this new internet of value. All of this, I believe, is happening in phases and stages, and it is very exciting to me to know that Ripple is in the sandbox with the Digital Dollar Project. They're already in the Digital Euro Association. They're already in the Digital Pound Foundation. They already have relationship with the IMF. Who else has sat at the table with Christine Lagarde when she was the managing director, right? Think of all the connections that have happened and how any other project in the token digital asset space or token space has not had these kind of relationships. To me, it doesn't mean that it's 100% that it's guaranteed to happen, but what it does tell me is that I'm leaning in the right places. And that's my digital perspectives on this day, not financial advice. I'll catch all of you on the next one.